Good afternoon, 5th grade. Now I know I'm not there today, but you have two very important things to work on. One, we are working on yearbooks, and two, we are working on the bulletin boards for Youth Art Month. This is your year to draw them. So for the yearbooks, we've got two samples here. These are past winners, and there are three important things that you need on here. This one is a little bit not what we want, but they picked it because it had such a good drawing to it. The very first thing you need is Jackson Elementary. Your drawing will be the whole cover. They won't be doing this kind of design again. So Jackson Elementary needs to be on here, and it needs to have your school year, so 2019 to 2020. And it also needs to say your name. This one has your name all the way down here, and this person's is all the way down here in pencil. It's hard to see. You can do whatever you want for your photo, but it needs to be school appropriate. And if you do end up drawing something like this, no blood, no gore, and it has to do with something with Jackson Elementary, whether that be paw prints, a jaguar, school rules, whatever it is. It needs to relate to Jackson. The people that are picking these are not me. It's the yearbook people, and they're going to take a very quick look at all of everyone's designs, and if it's hard to read, or if it looks messy or anything like that, they're just going to pass it by. They're not going to pick it. This is the paper that we are designing our yearbook covers on. It has a border going all the way around, a little rectangular box down here, and a thin rectangle box underneath that. You are going all the way up to the line. You're not stopping at the dotted line. You have to go all the way to the line. The dotted line is there to help you stop before putting something important towards the edge. They might decide to put a border, or it might go off the side of the book a little bit, so they don't want Jackson Elementary going off the side of the page. I'm not quite sure what they're doing here, but that could be for information that they're putting in. They also do not want you to put anything important here. But just like these ones, they've colored over the entire thing. So you're still going over the whole thing, filling the entire thing. Don't worry about the dotted lines. Just do not put anything important outside of them. Don't put words, don't put your name, don't put the date. If you are the runner-up, you get to be on the back of the yearbook. So here is this year's runner-up, that year's runner-up, and here is that year's runner-up. So there's some ideas for you. Make sure that your writing, just like on this one, make it very clear. Anything that you do, make sure you pick good colors for it. Make sure your design is easy to read. Make sure it's not messy. The thing I like to think of is a good advertisement on a bulletin board. You're driving by it for a few seconds. The people that are judging these are only looking at them for a few seconds. So you want your design to pop. You want it to look good. And you want to be able to win. You want to be able to have it on the front. And you guys are the oldest ones in the school. I should be able to rely on you to have awesome designs, and hopefully one of you guys will win or be a runner-up. All right, so that's our first thing we're working on. Today you can pick two things. You can either pick to do this, or you can pick to start working on the bulletin board. In my opinion, the bulletin boards are much more important. These you can work on outside of class. The bulletin boards we need to work on inside of class for at least a little while. Here is what the paper looks like for our bulletin boards. We are not drawing anything under here. They already have all the info for us. Okay, I'm going to pause myself right here. I am actually calling these Youth Art Month things the wrong thing. I keep calling it a bulletin board. A bulletin board is something that you see in the hallway. I'm talking about billboards, and I'm going to show you some examples of billboards that look good and look bad, just so everyone's clear. When I talked to Mrs. King's class and was talking about the bulletin boards, see, I'm doing it again, the billboards, they were very shocked when I showed them that it's actually a billboard. So I'm going to show you guys some pictures of those so that you get a more better realization of what these are going to be like. The paper's small that you're working on, but a graphic designer is going to scan these in and put it to scale. So your drawing is going to be the advertisement on a billboard for Youth Art Month. So here are examples of the billboards that look really good. They're easy to read. You're definitely going to tell what's being advertised, versus one that definitely is much harder to read. You're not going to be able to tell what's going on in the few seconds that you have passing it. Same thing goes with your bulletin boards. There I go again. Same thing goes for your billboards. It has to be really easy to read. Now, you don't have to have a white background, but make your text easy to read and popping off the page. Don't make a bunch of little tiny letters. Make your letters very big. The billboard on the right is much harder to read. The text is so small and there's a ton of text. Do not put too much text in yours. Just have take a journey through art. You don't really need anything else. If you want to add something, that's fine, but you really, really don't have to. Here is also a good example of what text should look like on a billboard to make it easy to read. You see on the left where it says effective, that is effective with a lighter background and darker text, or vice versa. But if you have two colors that are not very bright or contrasting off of each other, it is much harder to see. The green text with the red background is extremely hard to read, and it honestly makes my eyes hurt. For the image that I have on the right where it says here is a colored line of text, you can see there are more successful and ones that aren't as successful, and it's easier and harder to read. Here are examples of Youth Art Month winners in the past. Now, the people that are picking these are not art teachers. They're regular people. They don't deal with art all the time, so they are going to pick something that is much easier to read and something that's not gobbly-gobbly and a mess. It has to be clean and easy. So, the image on the left, very easy to read. Youth Art Month, you can tell that right off the bat. The image on the right, clean, easy to read. Everything pops off the page. Looks fantastic. I also have examples of past winners and the bulletin boards that they were on. So you can see the Youth Art Month one on the left. Now, they wrote the info. We don't have to, but they have theirs, and that's what it looks like on the bulletin board. The one on the right is from a younger student that put Youth Art Month. Now, I don't think this is when we had themes for them, but you can see it on the bulletin board, so theirs was just really easy to read. Okay, now I'll let myself go back to the regular scheduled program of the rest of this video. The theme this year for our bulletin boards is take a journey through art. It has to have those words on there. You're not putting your name like you did for the yearbook. The whole town is saying this, so do not put your name on it. Like I said, it does have to say take a journey through art. The lettering, just like the yearbooks, has to be clean, easy to read, and fast. The people that are paying for the bulletin boards, the bank and I think a couple other companies, they look at these for even shorter amount of time than the people with the yearbooks. And if yours looks messy, anything is misspelled, I can't even send anything that's misspelled, but if I do send something and you can't barely read it, they're just going to toss it out immediately. They're not even going to consider it. So make sure you have take a journey through art and create any kind of picture that represents taking a journey through art, whatever that means to you. If you have to take a scrap piece of paper and do it on there, I only have so many of these papers. Same thing with the yearbook papers. I only have so many of these. I cannot keep printing them out. So you have only these one pieces of paper each. So if you're working on the bulletin board today, you only get this one and that's it. This is your one and only final copy. Fill out all of this down here for me. At least put your name for today before we turn it in officially, so I know that it's yours. Like I said, all the info is down here for the event, so you don't have to worry about that. You just have to create Take a Journey Through Art. Do not go outside this dark black border. The gray is just here for design. Only color and draw and create in here. You guys can use markers, crayons, colored pencils. Same thing with the yearbook cover, whatever it might be to help create it. Just make sure it's clean. If you do end up using watercolor, we'll do that next time when I'm actually here. Please do not use watercolor when I'm not there, or paint. That is an option, but just realize that this is printer paper. It's very thin. If you use especially watercolor, it's going to wave. It's not going to look very good. So base your design around what limitations you have, all that kind of stuff. So please work very hard on these. Take them seriously. Make sure that you can tell what the design is, what the words are, because people are seeing these very quickly when they drive by them in their cars, because they will be up on a bulletin board. If you win this, you get a sponsored spot at the Youth Art Month show. If you win this, you get to be on the yearbook cover. So, first and foremost, I want you to work on this. This is something that you can take outside of class. Also, if you trace any of these, I can tell, I will know, and I will toss it out. So no tracing, all right? I won't even send them along. Please work very hard on these today. I really want to see some great progress by the time class rolls around with us again. The sub will give lots of feedback on how you guys are doing, and you need to be staying in your seats. I gave you new seats. You need to be staying in them. All right. I'm very excited to see what you guys come up with. Remember, take these very seriously, and this is your only piece of paper. Enjoy.